Here I am.
Janos Audron. It is heartening after all these years to hear my name spoken without contempt. Raziel? My child, what have they done to you?
I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment. But I don't yet know why.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon of our salvation. Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma, and this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I have seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise what they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Should they be forgiven?
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then, what Kain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah.
Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps.
How's he gonna chew the cookie?
I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
Raziel, your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested. The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing?
The most formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths. They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
As Janos presented the blade, an inexplicable sense of dread crept over me. more palpable than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled to touch it, to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
Uh-oh.
I fear you have been followed.
They used our soup stairs.
You must save yourself, Raziel. Janos! No!
My surroundings whirled sickeningly, and I found myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life. And now I feared that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Moebius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through this sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Moebius' staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling, less than a dozen paces away. But it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess. It seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine. I thought perhaps if I could galvanize the forge and imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Oh dear. We don't do very well with saving people. In fact, I don't even know the last time that we did save somebody in any game that we played. Do you know the way? I know it's over there. Yeah, you see that all the way over there? Yeah, that. So technically, yes, I do. Oh, you idiot! Oh, well, at least there's just more soup. Okay, okay, okay. We light this here. Done. Simple. Fill it up with blood. Yep, that's the stuff. That's the ticket. Janos is definitely dead. He's never been more dead in his life. I didn't think he was gonna make it. I really didn't think he was gonna make it. Oh, he's doing it. He's doing the thing. Oh my god, please. Please fly. Fly to the best of your ability. Go around the puddle. That's it. That's the ticket. Where have I gone? See? I could do it. Heckin' done. I don't think I could have done it any faster than that, so if he's dead, it's not my fault. It's his own.
Plunge the Reaver into that furnace and forge the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
Didn't look like I was in a hurry. I was going as fast as I could. As fast as I could. And I was only in there for like 5 minutes. Surely he's still alive. I'm sure I saw you take a nap. How dare.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
The fiend intends to bury us alive. Raziel, we must get out of here.
Remember the sword!
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you.
No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once.
While I have taken yours.
Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Audron's murder. Moebius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Audron's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
Are we doing that now? Oh, we are. I didn't think there was much left of this. But it sounds like he has like another 4 to 7 hours of plans. Let's go.
We've been expecting you, little Razia.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
So the demons are coming from Squidius? Now we're in Star Wars? No, 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 no. Not Darth Squidius, just Squidius.
Do you really think you can save Noskov? Let me enlighten you, poor Raziel.
I'm hoping that that big thing kills a couple of those little guys, and then I can have their souls. Yeah, there we go. Doing all the hard work for me. Why have you picked up this weapon? Oh, okay, no complaints, no complaints. Well done. You killed him. Leave these two alive, so then they spend like the next couple of weeks wondering why they were left alive. This one's bigger. Look at the size of it! No, I can't. That's it. Just. Great job on your murder spree. Thank you. I killed that big one. Also, I have no idea where the hell I'm even going. The Sarafan stronghold? How the hell do I get there? Wait, is that the beginning place? Jetpack? I don't think that's gonna work out. I must be going in the right direction though, because this keeps happening.
You shall not pass.
Alright, Gandalf. I can hear his hooves. Oh, there he is. The size of the guy and you just missed him twice? You're gonna say. There we go.
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One. Did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
Oh, he didn't even say anything. Which means it's probably true. Okay, we're gonna save it here. Oh, I didn't know that he scratches his head and everything if you just kind of stand there. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Let's get him moving. Gotta love a good idle animation. You really have. You really, really have. I like when they put a lot of effort into that. Look who it is, butt poker. I was gonna say that's me, but I don't know. Oh yeah, we're going the right way.
He thinks he can change his destiny. What a fool.
Oh shit. Okay. Just one of these was kind of difficult. Why is it going to be 3? Too many Balrogs on the dance floor. Look at this one just throwing fire. That one's the troublemaker. You can tell. Oh, fire! We want fire. Do I think that Raziel is a bit chilly? You know what? I was thinking about this earlier. That he is just kind of running around with just a scarf on and leg warmers. But I don't know if he actually feels cold or hot or anything, because he doesn't really have skin, right? So would he just be numb to it? I don't know. Maybe that's why he's so grumpy and has trust issues. No pants. We'll do that to a man. No pants. No butt cheeks. No stomach. No jaw. He has a sad excuse for wings as well. No offense to him. I didn't mean that in an offensive way. His wings are, you know, they're wonderful. They're great. It's nice to see a character that has wings that aren't the usual stereotypical feathery sort of things.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are finally. You have no choice but to confront me now. And I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Sarafan to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger to the Circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the Time Streamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
He wasn't on the toilet!
Lord Moebius, there is trouble within. The Circle is under attack.
Fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Moebius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose? Corrupting everything you encounter.
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Moebius. But it's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik. Bolt the door.
Came up with it on the spot to
Using
make
his
himself
staff
sound
to
important.
disable my Wraithblade, Moebius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Okay, so now it's really unfolding. It's really unfolding. So Vora Doorbell is down the corridor shouting, I mean not shouting, murdering them, and that's why they're shouting, and that's why Malik wasn't there to save them, and that's why that was such a terrible situation. It's because he was here. He was here with the time streamer, as he likes to call himself, talking to Raziel. Okay, okay. So when we played Blood Omen and I was like, oh, that was a bad time for him to go to the bathroom, it actually wasn't him going to the bathroom. Other stuff was happening. The Reaver. Okay, I feel bad for Malik because I was kind of picking on him a lot during Blood Omen because of that. But I killed him once, I can kill him again.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Sarafan, and in unlife as Kain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephon, the weakest of Kain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
Ooh. Oh my god. He was like down and then suddenly not down. Why am I not taking any damage? What are you poking me with? Did you not sharpen that before the fight? Stab him while he's down. Is it a wet fish? It might as well be. I know that that's like the worst way of fighting in this game, but I just think it's funny when he runs and pokes them. Especially the thought of what's going to be said to somebody later on about why they're dead. Some guy ran in and just started poking them with a sword. The soul poker? Yeah, yeah. It's good stuff. Can we not suck these souls out?
As Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade, I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Oh, so he wasn't just poking us with a fish. Why would you? They barely touched, unscathed? Because sometimes it's nice to have a snack, even if you are invincible. You know? A well-fed vampire is a, good vampire. Although technically, if you think about it, we've already eaten their souls.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get through us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Okay, I can answer all of the questions. So, if you're immortal, yes, you do still need to eat. And the reason for that is because things are tasty. Things are tasty, I agree, yes. Immortal just means can't die, doesn't mean can't be rendered helpless, trapped, or maimed even? Yeah, that's true. If you're invulnerable, then that's a whole different kettle of fish. Whole different kettle of fish. If you're both together, then good God. That's an interesting mix. We are just sucking the blood out of them. I didn't realize until now. And I like it. We keep this sword. You're not taking it from me. I'll stab you. It's in the digestive system.
Back to the pit you crawled from,
True.
demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Turel would not.
So what happened to him? Would you please stop poking me? Cut content? You have to be kidding. You have to be kidding. I'm sucking your blood. Without even biting you. Poking a hole in your leg. Stole a fish's coin. And? Fish don't need it. Oh, hello.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must.
No.
Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Audron turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
Oh! Okay, so the human Raziel? Not very good looking. The Wraith Raziel? Not very good looking. The Vampire Raziel? Top of the list. Top of the list. Number one. It's all in the lipstick, I'm telling you. What's the face for? have a preference for a certain aesthetic? Yes. Doesn't everybody? Street magic? Whoa. I'm not sure he has lipstick on. Oh no, he doesn't have lipstick on, but his lips go like a... I'm pretty sure they're almost black when he's a vampire. Probably stained from years and years of sucking blood. Where did he stab him?
I renounce.
My time has come.
And so it ends. My history comes full circle. The Wraithblade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Kain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You. Are you enjoying this, Kain? Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me. I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Kain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel, Janos must stay dead.
But Kain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. and I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
I think we finished it. Yeah, Kain did save us right there. But, he also looked horrified. Thought you were the poker, you were in fact a stick all along? I'm gonna say something, and... it might be a little bit wild. He did tell us that we were the Soul Reaver right at the beginning of the first game, and kept on referring to us as the Soul Reaver, so I was just kind of like, oh... we are! Like, I don't know, that wasn't that big of a shock for me. I don't know if it's just because... it stuck in my mind how he kept on calling him it. And I was like, well, why does he call him that if that's the name of the sword as well? Why did they use the two phrases? But now we see why. Now we see why. You're actually paying attention to the lore, I respect that. That's why I wanted to play them all again, because I wanted to try and take in as much of the lore as possible. And yeah, I've been trying to sponge it all up. That's why I've been trying to stay quiet during every time that they're like talking and whatnot. Now for Soul Reaver 3, now for Blood Omen 2, which is going to take us away from the story, right? It's going to take us away from the story that's happening now because it's an alternate timeline. I don't know if I have that right. I genuinely don't know if I have that right. And I believe Blood Omen 2 is kind of long as well, so I'm hoping I don't forget anything from this one when we go into Defiance.